artists. Today we're going to be focusing on being the good in the world. I think that it's really important that we all stick together and get through this, and especially for those who don't have a voice or don't even have thumbs, what I've decided to do is look up my local humane society and see who is adoptable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I am looking at the proportions of dear Tyson here. Tyson is at the Standish Humane Society, and this little kitten wants to be adopted. Now, actually, it's not a kitten, it's an adult cat. What I suggest is that you look for the oldest animal in your Humane Society and you make a little picture out of this, or out of them. What you want to do is really focus on the likeness of that animal. What you can do is look at the proportions, look at the lights and the darks, maybe make a really cool funky background. Try to think what would be nice for me to see and to get this animal adopted. In the video to come, I'm going to be really looking at pastels and just making facial proportions and lights and darks. But I think it's really cool that we can be the good in the world right now. So let's get started. This is my reference picture for Tyson. So I have Tyson's pictures over to my left on my laptop, and the first part that I need to do to make my picture is map out really simple shapes with a pencil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where I want his little face to be. I think I want his face to be, remembering our rule of thirds, you never want to plop anything right in the middle of your paper. You want to either go upper left, upper right, lower right, unless obviously if you want to strike that rule and put something right in the middle. I mean, you always want to learn your basics and then break the rules. So I'm going to put Tyson's face about right here. And then from there, I'm going to really look at the ratios of his face. Where's his nose end? I'm going to compare where his eyes are. How big are his ears compared to his head? How big is his body compared to his head? I'm just really going to look at those proportions and the simple shapes that I see. Now that I've sketched in all the points that I want to, maybe go back in and really look at some proportions. I think these eyes are a little bit off, but then I'm going to start outlining all my lines with some color pencils. Now again, I'm on this black piece of paper, so I need kind of lighter colors to start outlining, and I've decided to use some pastels in my design, but you can use whatever you want to. Remember that this is for a really wonderful and good cause, and hopefully you'll find a little bit of solace in making something so absolutely adorable. I'm really looking at the direction of the hair, where my lights and my darks need to end up, and where all my lines should be facing. In my opinion, every portrait is really brought to life by the eyes. I'm looking at where there are reflections, where are there shadows, where is the color being blended in, where does the eyelid start, where does the inner eyelid, where is their tear duct. I'm really looking at all those really teeny tiny details to make it look very realistic. Tyson is looking awfully cute to me right now. I'm really focusing on keeping his sweet fuzzy short hair, and I'm really looking at what his eyes are saying to me, and I'm looking at all the dark places and the reflections in the photograph. Now what I'm going to do is I'm still going to be focusing on those really light areas first, and then with my pastels I'm going to start blending in the darker areas. Then I'm going to start off with the smallest areas and then work for the bigger. If you're using pastels or color pencil or graphite, it's always really important to have a piece of paper down so you're not smudging away all your really hard work. So just have a piece of your scrap paper down that's absolutely clean so you're not smudging it all away. And I'm gonna start in with probably his sweet little ears.
Now what you're going to start to see me do is pick up a bunch of different tones and colors. I'm going to start to add in blues, oranges, pinks, tans into this very black and white cat. And then I'm going to start to blend in the blacks, blend in the whites to make different tones and different grays. Eventually it's going to start to look like a full-blown Tyson. Now for the finishing touches, I'm going to add a background just to clean up my edges, just to clean up the background. I'm covering any fingerprint marks. I'm adding my whiskers to my cat. I'm making sure that all areas are nice and covered and nice and clean.
Tyson is finished. I have really focused on a whole bunch of textures and it's beautiful. Now I'm gonna go take a picture on a really blank wall. I'm gonna have natural light hitting my picture and I'm gonna go email it to the South Shore Humane Society where Tyson can be adopted. Before I handle anything in art, you always want to go and wash your hands. Make sure that you have really clean hands. I'm just going to go and tape this up and then we're going to hopefully let this little guy be adopted. Or girl. I'm not really sure what Tyson is this whole time. Who knows? Well, after that huge voiceover and all those product pictures, we finally do have little Tyson that you saw in the beginning. So I think that it's really cool that we can get a variety of different animals. I know that there's bunnies, there's guinea pigs, there's dogs, there's cats, and I can't wait to see what you guys and who you guys are creating. You can use all these same techniques in drawing your own animals, and with the proportions you can even draw your people. Remember to compare and contrast different things. Like, I know that Tyson's ear is smaller than his entire face, but I do know that his face is smaller than his entire body. So really compare those two. I think that we can do a lot of good with this, and whenever you share, make sure that you put the link of where to adopt that animal in how you're sharing. But I think he's really cute, and I wish that I could adopt this little guy. Happy creating, everybody, and remember, be the good in the world, okay? Bye.